Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together. Hey, good evening, good night, good morning. I don't know about you, but I am so excited to be here. It's your friend Tongie, and you're hanging out with me on another edition of Talk to Tongie. I have to look and make sure I'm not saying the wrong show. I am so super duper excited to be here. Oh my God, you don't know what it took to get here. And I'm just going to slow it down a little bit because you already know I've got a guest that's coming up, that is going to blow your mind. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. I want to check in with you. I want to make sure you're doing good because there have been reports that I've been reading in the Wall Street Journal and the LA Times and the medical journals that says a lot of people are hurting and they don't want to talk about it because they're the strong one. So I want to talk to all of those this evening that operate in strength, and you know who you are. I want to talk to them mommies that are saying, I'm tired. You don't understand, baby, I'm tired. I want to talk to them daddies that are saying, man, I'm trying to hold down 3 jobs and it still ain't enough. I want to talk to that little girl that's sitting in her room listening to what society says is beautiful. And that young guy that thinks that if he's not in the in crowd and wearing the coolest tennis shoes and the coolest ensemble, that he's nobody. I want to slow it down, man, and just talk from my soul this evening because I've been to places where people are getting along. They're black folk and white folk and Protestants and Jews and Gentiles. And they're Christians and agnostics and atheists and Muslims. They're brothers and sisters with one faith, one God, one baptism. And they're making it easy to love. They're checking on their brothers and sisters and making sure that they got enough to eat and the lights are still on, and they're loving their neighbors as they love themselves. Man, I've been to some countries where people literally are serious about this thing called life. And that is what I want for each of you. I talk about this thing called love, and I tell you that really should be your greatest aim. See, once you have been given love, the kind that transcends sinners and saints, saints and ain'ts, the kind that just meets you right where you are and say, I love you. We're missing the mark, man. We got it wrong. We're chasing success, and success is built in us. We're giving up on one another. We're laughing at people when they make a fall. And sometimes we're too stingy to help folk up that need help. And you have it in your coffers to help. Yeah, we're going to slow it down. You may not like the show. Just go on, turn it off. It's okay. But we're going to be real about this thing called life this evening. And I need you to know that you matter. I love you. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I love you. And I'm serious about this thing. So we're going to hang out with a legend, a living legend. We're going to peel back the layers, and she's just going to be open, honest, and sincere. I have already given her permission. She can kick me underneath the table. Do not kick me hard. It's none other than our very own, watch this now, Dame Calliopa Pearlette-Louise. Did I do that right?
You did right.
Isn't she gorgeous? So we're going to hang out with her. And I told her, I said, it's such an honor to be in your presence. And don't get me wrong now, it wasn't about the titles. I love titles. I got a few that, I toy around with. But it was about the soul. Because when I very first met this amazing soul, I saw her soul. She's warm and she's inviting, and you can reach out and touch her, and she's astute, and she can get down with some of the best of them, right? You can go to governments and tell the government I'm showing up. And that is what a governor general does. So without further ado, I got to do the name one more time, don't I? Dame Calliopa Pearlette-Louise. Welcome to Talk to Tongie.
Thank you so much.
Can I touch you? Oh my God.
It's so good to see you.
Man.
In person.
In person, I know, right? I'm getting chill bumps. I'm like a little kid now. Y'all got to bear with me. Bear with me. I ain't come here to be perfect. I can't even be mature. Nah. I am sitting at the feet of a woman who has represented very well. We'll get that in your ear at the break. Don't worry about it. I don't need no distractions. We're representing a woman who is a dame.
There's nothing like a dame.
I know, right? Oh my gosh.
Nothing like a dame.
A lot of folks would have skipped over that. But I'm like, see, this is royalty. So I know that title. Her Excellency. Wow. To be called and chosen and to answer the call when you in their world ain't got no experience. You are a woman.
Yeah.
But to say yes, see, we get excited. We get excited, Saint Lucia, because this is history now. Yes, it's in the record books, and it's in the newspapers and the journals, and it's in orders that you got. We're gonna get there. But to know that Saint Lucia has someone like you, do you understand the assignment, the gravity of saying yes?
Well, to begin with, I didn't think that I was cut out for all this. And so it took me a while to, really appreciate the impact I seem to have been having on people. When people would stop and say, particularly young people who normally don't, think about, government and governor generals, and they would meet me and say, thank you so much. That said a lot.
That said a lot. I mean, come on, lady. You just minding your business. We're gonna go back just a little bit. You're minding your business. You're teaching. You're doing what you love to do, what you've got your degrees in at the West Indies University. Yeah. I did my homework.
You did your homework.
And you're just minding your business, and you go from teacher to principal to dean. And then you get a call.
I got a call.
You better come on, talk about it. Come on, talk about it.
I got a call on a Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
Well, just probably Wednesday night, about 10 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
Recognized the voice of the Prime Minister.
Now, all right. I'm not from Saint Lucia. I want you there.
Oh.
You just got to tell me this Prime Minister's name. What man had enough courage to interrupt your life? I don't want to. We're going to slow it down because we're with family. I want people to understand that you could literally be doing what you do, and God Himself will interrupt what you're doing.
Yes, it was a Wednesday night. And I had just come home from rehearsal because I was in a choir.
You sing? What you sing? Alto?
Alto. Good one, but
I'm an alto too. I can't. But I'm the loudest one in the choir when I was singing because I just believed I could.
Exactly.
Until I overheard some folks that said I couldn't. Because you can't carry a tune. Okay. Yes. All right, so you just got in from choir practice.
And it's about 10 o'clock, and the telephone rang, and the voice was the voice of the then Prime Minister, Dr. Kennedy Anthony.
Anthony, thank you, sir. Thank you. You say, well, he ain't with us no more. Still, thank you, sir. Wow.
And then I wonder what I must have done something at that time to be, to get a call from
So what were you doing prior to the call? Were you like already ready for bed? Or you just got in, so you had something to eat?
Yes, and I was just getting ready to go to bed.
Oh my God.
And I picked up the phone and I said yes.
Well, why did you answer at 10?
Well, I said hello. Because I didn't know who was on the other line. I mean, that's not the time when the days when you pick up the phone and you know.
Yeah, before you pick it up, right. So, had you known, if you had caller ID, would you have said, what you want? Or hello? Would you have answered?
Well, yes. I mean, it was it was the decent thing to do. Because I would have recognized the name, and I rang the person. It was somebody that I knew. It's not to say that I didn't know him, and I said, now I wonder who's calling me.
So you knew the Prime Minister?
Well, yes.
That is amazing because. All right, now.
You see, this is what happens when you live in a small country.
There you go. That's where I was headed. Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Wow.
Yes. I was in education, he was in education. So, it was that.
So he knew you.
Oh, yes. He knew
you by your works.
Well, yes.
Aha.
Yes.
All right, now you get that, right? People will make a bit of path to your door if they know how you work. Not what you say you're going to do, but what your working is doing. Here you are minding your own business. And this man who knew you, who knew that you were a woman of principle, who knew that you were going to show up, he had to know. Well, yes. Even if he didn't think you were going to do it, he knew you were going to do it. Yes. And you did it.
And yes, I accepted after a while. I mean, I had to think about it. I mean, it was, right. It was a whole change of life.
You trying to rush this because my man is about to tell me to go to break. Hold on one second. Because I don't want to rush this. I mean, yes, you got the call, but how do you say? And I want you to think about it in the break because I've got some goodies to give away, all right? Okay, I'm just all over the place, but I'll get back to that in just a second. How do you pick up the phone to answer a call that's going to change the trajectory of your life? You pray, you ask God to bless you and give you opportunity, but then when He gives you opportunity, how do you respond?
I said, oh my God.
Oh, you better shut your mouth. We'll be right back.
My dearest Tongie, you have been a person who has impacted my life in so many ways. You have added such value and love to my life, and I hold you in high regard to that. I say thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for showing up when the chips were down. You have been my rock, my sister, my prayer partner, and my friend. Thank you for sharing your children. We have a special son together, Morgan. But you have also shared Taisha and Tyrone with me. And I love them as if they were my own. My daughter Megan loves you as well. And she calls you Mama T. And I'm sure you know that. Well, people would wonder, how are we related? And how do we share such immeasurable love? So let me tell you. I know this is unheard of love. And I wish everyone could experience the love that we share. We are family. Tongie was my husband's first wife. He is now deceased. But when I say this, this woman and her family stood by me and mine. Whew. When Max Scott, who we refer to as Terry, because that's always been his nickname, when he departed this life, who was my husband, Tangie's first husband, she came to my house with support in tow. Tongie, Stacy, and Taisha. We put the devil on notice that night. We prayed for strength, understanding that surpasses all others, and healing. That night, God delivered. He gave me what I wanted, and He gave me what I needed. Years ago when we met, we bonded right away. Never an unkind word from her. Never a falling out. Never across anything. I have called on you, Tongie, so many times. And you've been there every time. I'll never forget the calls, the prayers in the wee hours of the morning for anything, the financial support, the calls just to keep me in the loop, the birthday calls, the songs, of course, all of our texts, and the visits. They've all been special. And you, my friend, sister, I love you. Tongie Scott, my hat is off to you, and I love you forever. Till we speak again. Take care.
Your girl, Dr. Tongie, you know, from the Talk to Tongie show. Are you ready to maximize your business exposure? Of course you are. Why not consider placing an ad right here with me on the Talk to Tongie show on DBS?
You are absolutely amazing. A breath of fresh air, a true light in the darkness, and I am so grateful for you because you are amazing, and you truly have added so much value to my life that I'm beyond grateful that God has allowed our paths to cross. And I feel honored to be able to make this video and to talk about you and give you your flowers and just mention the numerous ways that you have significantly impacted my life, because you have. And I don't know what my life would have been like without you, and I don't think I want to because you have planted seeds in me that have impacted the person that I am today, and I thank you for that. And you've also planted seeds that help catapult my relationship with Christ. You've shown me how to walk out being a kingdom citizen in a world that, isn't necessarily conducive for that. And you've shown me what it's like to share the love of Christ, to be that light, and to share that joy and that peace and that comfort. And I thank you for that, because it gets hard, but you are such a warrior and such a true inspiration that you've helped me find the tools to make that possible. And I'm forever grateful. I love you so much. Thank you for everything.
Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Tongie, and I'm with Louisy. And Lizzie, tell everybody what show you go to. CBS. She watches on CBS, and tell us why.
It's a very entertaining show.
Entertaining. Isn't she gorgeous? I swear to you, I didn't pay her to say it. Check me out on CBS Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. Bye. This is Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're going to do life together. We are back. Thank you so very much. I don't think I thank you for allowing me to come into your home this evening. Please forgive my manners. I guess I just thought we were so much family that I didn't have to thank you. And I don't ever want to take you for granted or make you think that you're supposed to show up for me. No, I'm supposed to show up for me, and then you can come if you wanna. But I want to thank each and every one of you, seriously, for allowing me. This is my second season. I know, right? When we were sitting and talking about the number of shows that we've done, it's mind-boggling because it's no longer work for me. See, I understand now the assignment is to always work for purpose. He always will give you the money. I'm a living witness. Things did not go the way they should have. But God. But God, man. And I want you guys, I want you, if you have trouble saying thank you to people that have been your strength, shame on you. Go back and tell folks, thank you, man. It matters. It matters that they take time out of their day, out of their moment to encourage you. You've got people in your life that are encouraging you. Don't take them for granted. Tell them thank you. And if you ain't got enough money to, get them some flowers, go buy somebody's yard and pick up one and give it to them. I'm just joshing. Do not call this show saying nothing. I'm just kidding. But be in the moment. If my time away, and I'll get into that another day, but if my time away has taught me anything other than do not take time for granted. Do not take the relationship that you have with Christ for granted. Do not take mama and daddy, and do not take yourself for granted. You are purposefully made. You got a purpose. And that purpose begins with you knowing who you are in Him, not them. That doesn't matter. You'll get there. But when you can wake up every morning and go to a career that you're giving and somebody see your good works. And they don't say that you've been faithful, because to be faithful means that you had to have helped someone. That's what faithful means. And here we are. And I'm going to get her name right without even looking at the paper. No, I better look. Here we are with Dame Calliopa Pearlette-Louise, who thought it befitting to give us a master class. You know, everybody else has master classes. And they tell you what the world's way of doing things and how they, pull themselves up from the bootstrap. And you're like, okay. But I want to talk to somebody who went through something. Sign me up for that class. Sign me up for a class where people call it a village, and I just refuse. I call it a community because it's not. Sign me up for a class who the person was tapped on her shoulder from this community. And people got a way of saying, Dame. They got a way of saying, you're not from the right side of the tracks. Nobody knows. Yep, it don't fall out of my ear. Nobody knows what comes out of this village. Ouch. Would you speak on not just the negative connotations of what people's words can say, because you're a linguistic. You're in linguistics. And because I'm not butchering that. Not in this master class. But you're from a place where people say, we ain't supposed to make it. Talk to me, lady.
Yes, indeed. If I should start a little further on, I remember when I first took up a position as a teacher at the convent. That's just after my own studies.
Yeah.
And and my students who are Form 1s, and so, she's a country girl.
You better come on and hush your mouth and hold yourself.
What? She's a country girl. I said, is that so? Well, so that country girl came from Labrie. Now, Labrie, I don't know, you said, is it a village or a community?
I want to say community. You want to call it a village. What you want to do? It's your show tonight.
No,
what you want to do?
It's a community. It's a community. In fact, and that is something we like about that particular part of Saint Lucia.
Yes, ma'am.
The community of Labrie. There's a community of spirit. There's a communal living. There's a living for each other and for one another. And
yes,
this is what I was, nurtured in. And I have in me that sense of not being there just for myself, but with the people who shaped me, who brought me up, who gave me that love for people, for helping out, and for going out and making sure that other people have a decent kind of life, even if you cannot give them the material things, but but a smile, a hello, and you start. I mean, what does it take out of you if you just pass and you say, hi, how are you? And you just move on,
Come on.
So that is the community that I was brought up in. I mean, I left at the age of 13 when I came up to Castries, because that's, to
13?
At 13 there was only one secondary school in the island, and it was in Castries. So I left the community and came up. But by then, I was already steeped in that.
So that's so important for, you would say, for young women, for young girls in particular, young boys that need that that foundation. That was your foundation.
That was mine.
So you could leave at 13 and not be shy. I get that a lot sometimes. I'm sorry, ladies. Well, she's just shy. And I'm like, no, you're too beautiful to be shy. What are you talking about? You know? But you dispelled that myth.
Yes.
Because that's what it was. It was mythical.
Indeed.
And you
turned
said,
out to be so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you said no. Yeah. Wow. Even at 13, you were doing things, man. You were doing it.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's Labrie.
That's Labrie.
I don't go down very often, but every time I go down, you just feel, that you're back home, and then you see that's your roots.
So what did the people think? Right? That when all right, you're getting the call.
Yes.
And it's your friend who has seen your work in the marketplace. I told you it's really important for people to see that, right? I'm sure you didn't broadcast it to everyone. Hey, guess what happened to me?
On the contrary, I was told, until it's settled.
Yeah.
Tell your family if you need to.
Yeah, we call it don't put the horse before the cart.
That's it.
Don't put the cart before the horse. Yeah. So
many people got to know that on the day if we're talking about the position of Governor General, on the day I was sworn in. Because I was sworn.
Oh my God! You can keep a secret like that?
Well,
would you be my friend? Wow!
Yes.
And with the advancement of technology, and I enjoy technology.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the social medias, but that would have been all over. Everybody would have known your business before you got there.
No. You've got to be sure that you've got the thing in the bag.
See, that's what I'm talking. Now you see why you're here. You're here to give us those pearls of wisdom that.
No pun intended.
Yo, come on
pearls
now.
Of wisdom.
This is my new best friend. No pun intended. We love our pearls, don't we? I'm loving your pearls. You do know that, don't you? I want to be like you when I grow up.
I'll tell you.
So we're talking about you're getting this call, and what did it feel like? You're hearing this, okay, for the first time, and then you hang up the phone. What do you say next?
I said, oh my God, how do you answer a call like that? I felt I don't think I can. I don't have what it takes. I don't.
No,
think
you're talking to who? Who are you talking to? Talking to yourself?
Yes.
Out loud?
Out loud and saying, girl, and then, what do I do? What do I do? It took me a while, but I think at one point I closed my eyes, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks later, when Dr. Anthony was beginning to think that he probably had made, a boo-boo there. And he probably could have looked elsewhere. I got up one day and I said, let go and let God.
Oh, don't you do that. I don't need nobody coming over here telling me it's time for a break. We're about to get into this right now. Let go.
Let go.
All right. I've got my tissue. I am not crying tonight. But that speaks volumes, not only on what you were being called into, that ministry, but to so many people who are saying, but Dame, you don't understand. I see what you've done, and I'm excited for your life, but I can't do nothing like that. And people have those conversations. How were you able to stop the noise? Because that's loud.
Yeah, it was loud at the beginning. And even before, it was something you couldn't keep to yourself. So there was a very good friend of mine, and I said, I've been, offered that position. What I'm thinking about it. What do I do? And he said, don't be stupid, girl. What are you thinking about? What's there to think about?
Ooh, I love country people. I'm from the country. I'm from Mississippi.
What's there to think about? I said, but you don't just, just because it sounds, posh and you go in, you've got to understand what it is.
This is you talking.
Yeah, I'm telling that to myself. You need to understand the gravity of the thing. I mean, you don't just go in because it sounds nice. It sounds good. You're good and you're head of state. What does it mean to be the head of state of a country? Well, what it is you need to do for the country. So these were the things that I had to think of. Am I capable of doing it? Do I have what it takes? And that is why, as I said, finally, I said, okay, well, maybe you should try something good. You should try it. And I said, let go, forget about it, and let God. He has brought you that far. I mean, it wasn't a place that I ever thought I would have reached. Not from the community of Labrie. Didn't think of getting up there. And so I said, God, let go and let God. And then from that moment I was, sort of peaceful, and I thought, okay, take it easy, forget all the noise and, some were saying, oh, should be much better staying, in education at the college.
Don't you just love when folk tell you what to do?
And I said, it's service, It's service. There are many ways in which you can serve. You serve in, it's a call.
Wow. And
it's a call from God. Because it wasn't something that you say, well, you applied for, or that you even thought you could do, And so throughout, I saw myself as a steward. It has been something was given to me. I needed to manage it and give it back in a better condition than I found it. Do something for my country, for my people, bring them up, let young girls like me who came from the community of Labrie or any of the other small communities, or even from Castries itself, that you can do it. If you make up your mind, if you set your mind to do it, and so that is what sustained me throughout the 20 years.
That's your mission statement. No amount of that's lived from the inside out. Yeah. That's one thing to write a mission statement, and we believe that when our daddy talked about write the vision and make it plain so that those who will come behind us can read it and run with it. We want to believe that it's our vision. But
it is.
It's his.
Yes.
It has absolutely nothing to do with us. When you answered the call, you literally shifted the atmosphere that you were walking in. And then you became the work.
That's true.
So you didn't have to work. And truth be told, they didn't want to leave you. They didn't want you to leave because they're like, what? What she's doing is working.
Yes.
You spoke on jargons that make my heart flutter. When someone says servitude, that's a jargon for responsibility for me. When someone says the call, that's someone who says I surrender for me. Yeah. You can't answer a call the way you did unless, and you said it yourself, it was a call from God. In a world where your God don't look like mine. You can't speak in tongues, you ain't got him. If you're not Catholic, if you're not Protestant, if you're not this, you're not that, if you're not, if you're believing in Haile Selassie, and I'm not making fun, hear me when I'm talking this. But in a world where we've gotten it wrong, for you to say it was a call from God, it goes into your having a relationship with him. Yes. We're going to talk a little bit because he's standing up with the card that says break. We're going to talk in just a second, and we're going to get into everyone who has been talking. And look at this. Look at this. Thank you. Thank you, Saint Lucia, for showing up. It's just us having fun, man. We're taking just a little bit of time. We'll get back to the worries of tomorrow. I don't know what you're worried about tomorrow for. It's got enough worries of its own. But we'll get back there in a minute. But tonight it's about you. And it's about this amazing soul that gave so much of herself and is still giving. And, you know, the boards you're serving on, honey. We'll be right back.
Hey. You know, Dr. Tongie is a good friend of mine. She has been a good role model, a good person to look up to, and she's just full of life, full of love, and she shares that with everyone, and she lives true to her principles. She has just been one person who has got your back always through all forms of life. And I'm very grateful that I got the chance to meet her. You know, love you, Dr. T.
Your girl, Dr. Tongie, you know, from the Talk to Tongie show. Are you ready to maximize your business exposure? Of course you are. Why not consider placing an ad right here with me on the Talk to Tongie show on DBS?
You are absolutely amazing, a breath of fresh air, a true light in the darkness, and I am so grateful for you because you are amazing, and you truly have added so much value to my life that I'm beyond grateful that God has allowed our paths to cross, and I feel honored to be able to make this video and to talk about you and give you your flowers and just mention the numerous ways that you have significantly impacted my life, because you have. And I don't know what my life would have been like without you, and I don't think I want to because you have planted seeds in me that have impacted the person that I am today, and I thank you for that. And you've also planted seeds that help catapult my relationship with Christ. You've shown me how to walk out being a kingdom citizen in a world that, you know, isn't necessarily conducive for that. And you've shown me what it's like to share the love of Christ, to be that light, and to share that joy and that peace and that comfort. And I thank you for that, because it gets hard, but you are such a warrior and such a true inspiration that you've helped me find the tools to make that possible. And I'm forever grateful. I love you so much.
This is Talk to Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together. All right, we are back. Thank you yet again for hanging out with us. It is truly amazing to be in your living room, in your kitchen, in your boudoir, wherever you're watching us. I do not take it lightly or for granted that you literally could have so many shows to choose from, and you choose me to hang out with me and allow me to get in your business. Allow me to show the world that Saint Lucia is so blessed. We've got everything we need to be as great as we want to be right here on this island. We do. And I know it's true because I get to spend the evening with, okay, I'm going to say it without looking, Dame Calliopa Pearlette-Louise.
And perhaps I should add, Calliopa, Calliope was the goddess of inspiration.
You better come on here.
Yes.
What?
The goddess of inspiration.
So that's
the muses, you know what I mean?
That's
my muse.
Oh, please be my friend. Wow.
Yes.
Do you know how important it is for someone to know not only where they're from, but to know their name? Because, the world does a horrible job of beating us up and telling us that, I think someone said you didn't have the qualifications or whatever it was that was said. But you still pushed through. I want to talk on, let me give a phone line so you can know that the phone lines are open, all right? Before he jumps up again. 716-0039 is the phone line that we can interact here in the station. And I've got a giveaway that I need to tell you about. There was a show that I did, and we're going to get right back to me asking you that question. But I did a show with an amazing Japanese Filipino restaurant owner, Sakuraji. And he was so warm and so inviting, and he loves the people of Saint Lucia. Yep, he does. So much so that he sponsored the show and had me give away. I am giving away lunch and or dinner, a $50 voucher so that you can take your friend like Mr. Lefton did. And he's still sending me text messages saying thank you. You're welcome, sir. So throughout the broadcast, I'm going to stop if I don't forget. And I'm going to ask you something that our beautiful dame, our legendary Dame Calliopa, has spoken. Whether it was what she was when she, before she came into this ministry of service, or what her mantra, what her mission was. Was it so important for her to represent Saint Lucia the way she has done? Which leads me to Ashton Jones. Thank you so very much, Ashton, for watching the show. We're going to get right back to you, I promise. But they want me to say that you, my lovely, have written something that it really just I'm grateful for it. You said, that's our best Governor General ever had since we became independent, and up to now there's nobody else that can fit in her shoes. That's speaking volumes of someone that gives someone their flowers while they can hear them. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
When you hear something like that, and he goes on to say, she's still our Governor General. Shame on you, Ashton. But when you hear that, and you've done 20 years of serving, how does that make you feel?
Glad that I was able to make a difference. Wow. And that, as I said, my whole, love of, well, it's not love, but seeing myself and all of us as stewards.
Yeah.
That we are put here to, to raise each other up, to build each other up. And so at the end of whatever assignment,
come on,
use your word assignment, you've left, whether it be the country or the job or the situation, in a better condition than you found it. That is my definition and my philosophy of stewardship.
Amen.
So hopefully, sometime in the future, I'll hear, well done, good and faithful.
Come on now, come on.
Well done, and
that's what
good
I'm working for. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I was able to make a difference and
make a difference.
And that people appreciated.
Absolutely.
Appreciated my efforts.
Your efforts.
I could have done better, I suppose. There's always room for doing better.
All right.
But
I hear what you're saying, but for someone to fundamentally develop a systematic way of developing education, that's loaded, because you didn't follow the status quo.
No.
You didn't. I want to talk about it. Then I thought I didn't want to ask that, huh? I want to know, how do you know that education was going to be one of the keys to freedom?
Well, there again, my growing up was not an affluent condition. So so I knew that it would have to be by my efforts.
Wow.
My own efforts with other people's help, of course, and that is the key. I was not in it alone. There were persons on whose shoulders I stood.
Okay.
In fact, there were persons who actually lifted me up.
Yeah.
So I knew that I had this debt to pay for those who helped me get to where I am. And in so doing, so that I too could give back to somebody else.
Wow.
And this is the circle.
The circle.
The circle of that.
Why is that? And boy, that's loaded. You know that. The persons that lifted you up, did you find yourself maybe soliciting people who knew more than you, or was it that kind of, maybe I'll just wait until they find me, if they know I need help, so why don't they just come help me?
Oh no, you got to help yourself.
Oh
yes, I mean, you can't just sit down and wait for things to fall into your lap. You've got to prepare yourself. You have got to position yourself for opportunities, for the help that people are willing to give.
Amen.
And you have to be able to accept what you are given, no matter how small. You may have wanted much more at the time, but that's what you are given. Thank you very much. You build on that, and then you turn around the corner, somebody else,
Yeah.
So that's how I.
Wow.
That's how I lived, and that's how I grew up. And I always think of where I came from, and there are many others like me, and what can I do to help them along. Education, I mean, that's why. Mind you, I didn't always want to be a teacher. I wanted to be a lawyer, but that's another
is that why you got the law degrees? You've got some law degrees, honorary law degrees that have been bestowed on you, and for you to have that, that's major.
Yeah, so that's why. And there again, I said that was being a teacher was not necessarily what I had thought, but that is what was destined.
Come on.
That's what I was destined for.
Come on.
This was the path that had been laid out for me. All kinds of things happened.
Yeah.
And who was at the back of it all, pushing me along? The man up there.
Whoa, Nelly. Come on, lady. Come on. You're making this difficult for me because I'm normally not fumbling over my words, but you lived it. You were immersed in it. It was placed in you. Yes, it was there all along, but people had to come and water it. It's potential.
Yeah.
We all have potential. You basically,
and you have to be open. You have to be receptive.
Wow.
Yeah. If it's been given to you, you got to open up. You have to be receptive. Thank you very much. Next step.
Wow.
This is how it works.
That's how
this is how it should work.
It should work.
Yeah.
Is that why? And I'm going to vacillate back and forth here. Was that how you were able to cross lines and get the vision of what you envisioned a Saint Lucia could be, our Saint Lucia could be? in government, because government is not always an easy sector. This is not a governmental show, so don't you go come calling. Let me give you a number before somebody give me another note. 716-0039 is the WhatsApp number if you want to make your contributions known to the show as we dialogue here. But how were you able to get that party or that person to see what you were doing?
Well, because, I mean, I like to say, by the fruits you shall know them. Is there such a thing?
Yes,
but
ma'am.
I mean, there was and I was doing what needed to have been done at the time. And you do what you've got to do. Other people see what, what you're doing. Yeah. And either appreciate it or they don't. And, and in my particular case, Dr. Anthony said, I mean, I heard him speak about it one day, saying, well, he thought I was in tune with the people culturally. I was in all kinds of things. I was in drama and music and dance. And,
you dance?
Well,
I love dancing.
Well, I did try modern dance, but after a while, my dance teacher said, Louisy, no. So I stuck to theater and
I'd still be
choir.
dancing.
I forgot about the dancing part.
Did you really? But I don't want to use the word indoctrinated yourself, but you allowed yourself to be in those areas of growth and development.
Yes.
What you speak on, and we love education because education really does open doors especially where I'm from. Little black girl with this color skin don't always get into doors where my other friends could get into. You really pushed education, but along with it, you kind of had the pillars of art and music.
Music, yes.
Yeah, and dance.
Yeah, yes.
Why is that so important?
Culture. I mean, and that's the main thing. Who are you? What, who are we at Saint Lucia? Some people, you have people say, oh, that one is a Lucian, or it's a Lucian. But what exactly does it mean to be a Lucian? What is the ethos? What is the essence of what is it to be Saint Lucian? And we need to understand that. We need to find that out for ourselves. We need a conversation to say, okay, this is it. Is it this? Is this that? And so you come out, and this is what we want to show the world. Wow. This is what it is. This is Saint Lucia. This is what it is to be a Saint Lucian.
Wow.
And we show that out there so that the world sees. When you talk about Saint Lucia and Saint Lucians, you are talking about that kind of person, that kind of ethos, that kind of mindset. And that is what I really wanted to promote during, at least, not only because I was in education, the principal of the college, which means you had to, had that kind of leadership. Yeah. So that is what I always wanted, for us to have this sense of who we are as a people. And that's why I so promoted the culture, the language in particular. This is Saint Lucia. This is Saint Lucia. And I think I may have done a little bit, but there's still a lot to be done.
What do you mean you think you've done a little bit? You were thinking these and served in an office for 20 plus years. So I'd say you were doing it, lady. For someone to write up and say, she's still mine. I'd say that you literally, and I say this, and I don't want people to say that, oh, she just says that all the time. When you operate in the spirit of excellence, with the spirit of leadership, you literally are saying, here am I. Send me. Yes. And you were sent to some beautiful countries.
In fact, one of my, sort of my hymns, I'm very Catholic and I'm very religious. But
you're not religious. No, you ain't religious. You spirit-filled.
Spiritual.
Yes, ma'am.
Spiritual. And I always used to say, here I am, Lord, with you. I will go. if you send me. There we have this hymn in the church.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Here I am, Lord.
We got that hymn in my church too.
Yeah. I will go if you send me.
I will go if you send me. First, before the break, you said, let go and let God. Now you're saying, I will go if you send me.
Yeah, here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord. Now, I'm saying it twice real slow. If you don't get it and don't win the voucher, that's on you. That's going to be one of the questions. So, your obedience, it was yes, your sacrifice was wonderful. I mean, you left everything to serve, but it's the obedience. And that's what you operated in. Even to the point where, what did those sleepless nights look like? Did you even have any, Super Lady?
Oh, yes. There were sleepless nights, and there were, kind of fidgety nights and days. And, even before, maybe a major event, I mean, you had to think about it, but once I went out there, I don't know if I fooled a few people and gave the impression that I had it all together. It wasn't always all together.
You weren't fooling them. You were operating from the inside out. Believe it or not, the Spirit always has it all together. It's this old stinky flesh that gets in the way. But you walked in everything you believed.
Yes, yeah.
That you believed that this could be a place where people were really represented. Wow.
Yes, yeah.
You don't think that carrying that kind of weight, that kind of torch, it takes people around you.
Yes.
Would you speak on how selective or how decisive that you have to be for people to be in your circle? Because every time, we say this thing, friend, that's my friend, or Facebook friend, or Instagram friend. But what did it really mean to choose who was walking with you?
Because even before, there were, a few friends who were there, for me from day one. I mean, my family, obviously, they, I had that family to fall back on.
Yes.
But I had some very, really faithful friends, I call them, to this day.
Wow.
And they were the people that I, would call and say, well, what do you think? Should I do this and that? And they've been very good to me.
So, those are great people. And
Yes.
thank you so very much, great people. Let's break it down where if this person that's watching is about to make some decisions that are life-altering and they're listening for a friend, what constitutes the definition of friend?
Oh, a friend would be one who would say to you, show you both the good and the bad, and would say, well, it's true. They would say, in the end, they'd say, well, it's up to you, but this is it. They would not, give you the impression, shake and say, because it's like, girl, this is going to be hard, girl. Yeah, I know. People will be watching, and people were watching.
I bet they were. Oh my gosh.
Watching, and you've got to, and they would call and say, hold on in there,
Wow.
or organize something, or come in and help you, help you organize. I had some very good friends. I had some very good staff as well, who really helped me grow. I have to admit that I didn't do all the growing by myself. It isn't that I am the one who came in with all there were people, there were my staff, my office staff, there were my friends, there were my family. There were even, people whom I met on the road or no, not so much on the road, because when I was governor, I wasn't walking on the road. But,
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes, people whom you least expect, they pass and they say, so
Wow. So I've got to ask this proverbial question here. My husband has this thing where he says, honey, when people say good things about you, you stay in the middle. because when they're going to say bad things about you, you still got to stay in the middle.
That is so.
How did you take, not the criticism, but how did you take the successes? When people had their chest out and they're saying, you know, the first female.
Yes.
How did you take it? You know, you go, or we're so proud of you, or look, mommy, I can do it too. How do you take that kind of success?
Well, you know, you don't get too swell-headed.
Come on now.
You don't get swell-headed. You say thank you so much. You know, you really thank people for coming out and saying to you that you're doing a good job.
Wow.
You know, and it gives you, you know, the courage sometimes, or the strength,
okay,
you know, to go a little step further and a little step further. So, you know, I have demitted office for 5 years almost.
Okay.
But yesterday, just last week, I was talking to somebody and you know, on the phone, and then he said, you know, Your Excellency, my daughter would like to speak to you. I said, okay, put her on the phone.
Oh, come on, wait a minute, hold up, time out. Somebody can call you up on the phone and you answer?
Well, yeah, I mean, now...
Shame on me.
You don't answer.
I'm sorry.
You know,
wow.
So I said, okay, let me speak with her. And then I, you know, she was saying, hello, Your Excellency. So I said, okay, I want to see your face. Switch on to video. Oh, wasn't she happy?
Oh, come on.
That's what she told me on video. You know, and the two of us chatted about, and now she was so happy. She went back to say, oh, no, that's what you for that.
You get Father of the Year award, right?
You know, so little things like that, you know. And I'm in the supermarket, and she says, Mom, mommy. I was like, oh my God. You know, and I have to admit, as I say, you are thankful
for sure
that you are able to have that,
amen, that
influence, that
amen,
effect on people.
Amen.
And you wish you could do better, and you
wow,
figure out you'll do better. Yeah.
What were some of the things, and you don't have to go into detail, but what were a couple of the things that you had to make that decision on, and you wish that you had done something just a little, tweaked it a little bit in that favor or that favor?
Well, some of it were personal, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
but
sure.
Others were part of the, as Governor General, there are certain decisions that you've got to take.
Absolutely.
You know, and so there's a little fine line that you've got to, you know, you are above, you are neutral, apolitical, so, you know. Yeah. So there were times when, oh God, you pray about the thing the whole night before you actually write what you got to write. You know?
Wow.
So that is, I mean, I did a lot of praying before I, even, you know, if I got a letter, an official letter, something that would be, a bit ticklish, you know, I would pray before I responded.
Wow.
You know? We have this, my favorite one is the Holy Spirit.
Come on.
For the hearts of the faithful. And,
yes, ma'am.
You know, every time any of my address, if I'm writing a speech, an address, before I put the first word down,
Holy Spirit.
I would pray for guidance.
Amen.
You know?
That's wisdom.
So that is...
And I don't want to rush that, because that is so important in everything we do. We get wisdom, we ask for knowledge, and that understanding of it. So would you stay tuned, please? The numbers are coming in, and I'm so excited. Thank you so very much. I will say to Pearlette-Louisy, Pearlette-Louisy, right here, Pearlette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good night, Dr. Tongie. Also Dame Pearlette-Louisy. Good night, baby. All right, we'll be right back, because if not, he's going to stand up with another note. I'll be right back.
Miss Tongie is one of the most amazing people I have ever met in my entire life. She is someone that I would consider to be a mentor, a spiritual mother, a confidant, a family, dear family friend. And I am so blessed to have her in my life. She is someone that I could call on during my hardest moments of life, and she'd pray for me and support me all the way through. And also someone who taught me how to cherish the good moments that come with life. And I just thank God every day that I have her and I can call on her. She truly...
Your girl, Dr. Tongie, you know, from the Talk to Tongie show. Are you ready to maximize your business exposure? Of course you are. Why not consider placing an ad right here with me on the Talk to Tongie show on DBS? Hey, you already know who it is, your girl, Dr. Tongie. And I'm with
Shama.
And Shama, where do you watch the show?
On DBS.
And tell me
Most
why.
times on my phone.
Really?
Yes.
Tell me why you watch the show.
It's a lot. I'm not able to say, honestly, I'm not able to say.
She's lost at work. But
You're just a role. You're a role model. You're just a nice. You're a nice person, and then you push. You tell. You give you give us something to live on, something to go. So that's why I love you.
You make me cry. I swear to you, I didn't think you said it.
No, you didn't. I'm on. That's why I love you. You always tell us to stay. You give us positive feedback. So, yeah.
All right. Watch out for Shama when you're up in the north, all right? You go over and tell them where they can find you.
I'll meet you restaurant.
Bye. This is Talk to Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together. Hey, we are back. Thank you so very much. And if you're kind of wondering, what is she still doing on the show? This is an extended version of our season 2 debut. And it's my way of saying I love you so much and I've missed you so much. And I just want to make certain that we foster a community where we can just be who we really are. We are great. We've been called to greatness, whether you're picking up paper on the side of the road or cans, or you're selling, I'm about to say tamales, but I forgot that I'm in Saint Lucia. Patties. But whatever it is that you find yourself doing is temporary until you get to purpose. And purpose comes from the inside, and you live it from the inside out. And sometimes you may be the only one showing up at your purpose party, but you still show up. What you talking, lady? I know a thing or two about, being on a desert island. I think they call it the island of Patmos. Is that called when you got shipwrecked or whatever it was? Bible scholars don't call my phone. I'm just playing. All right, so let me give a number here because I want to give away a voucher. 716-0039 is the number that you can get us in studio. So I want to ask a question about our Dame Calliopa Pearlette-Louisy. When we started the evening together, I asked you, remember what she did prior to serving as Governor General. So the first person, no, the third person. Yep, I'm just not going to give it away. Come on, it's $50 at Sakurachi. The third person that calls 716-0039 will get lunch and or dinner on me. And you'll be happy that you went because you don't eat sushi. Not yet. We'll get you to cook you something. 716-0039. What was it that our dame did prior to serving the country? And I almost told you how many years. That's the second question. 716-0039. While you're doing that, third person, you're going to talk on air, okay? We'll get back to wisdom. And you said before you wrote a speech or whatever it was that you were working on, you would write out. What are you writing? What are you listening for?
Well, really to find out, I mean, if it's an academic paper, then, you kind of listen to what is the main thing you want to get across.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And so, but if it's generally as a, to encourage people, and so you think, I always used to think of myself.
Oh.
And I always used to say, well, I know where I came from. I know what it took so I always wanted to encourage, particularly young people.
Wow.
Don't allow the constraints of the present to prevent you from doing what you need to do. In that way, the promises of the future will be achieved. So forget about the constraints of the moment. You don't have this, you don't have enough books, you don't have, you didn't get the scholarship you wanted this year, you'll have to wait another year. Don't let that keep you back and give up, Wow. While you're waiting for the next opportunity, position yourself so that when it shows itself, you are there to grasp it. Don't wait until an opportunity knocks and and then you're not ready, and then you complain. So I'm saying I tell young people when I was before I came up to secondary school. I mean, we didn't have books in the house. There were 2 books in the house. There was a Bible, and then there was a church, a missal, the Sunday missal. Yeah. And we would sit down, myself and my cousin, and we would learn all the Gospels, and and that was my reading material until I mean, you didn't have magazines and all these things. Somebody's calling.
Yes, ma'am. I'm listening to you. I'm like, yes, Julia. Yes. Hello, you're on there. Hi, you're on there with Dr. Tongie and Dame Louisy. Who am I speaking with?
This is Jacqueline Simon.
All right, Miss Jacqueline, are you ready to answer the question so you can go and have sushi on us? You ready?
Yes.
All right. What position, or what did Dame, I'm about to say doctor, Dame
Calliopa.
Oops. See, that's what happens when you have people out too late. All right. What position did our Dame do prior to becoming the Governor General?
She was the dean at the Louis Community College.
Is that right? Of course. Congratulations, my lovely. All right, we got to get some information. So what I would love for you to do, if you would just shoot us something, DM, can she DM us? So we can get that information. We got to get her phone number and all that good stuff, and I don't want to do that on air. So DM, talk to Tongie, the show, and then I will get your pertinent information and get that over to you tomorrow. The Lord say the same, and the creek don't rise. So you can have it for the weekend. Is that good?
You still there?
Hello? Did we lose her? Oh, dadgummit. But she won. So we're going to get her information. All right. So I want to ask you this proverbial question, right? You bring a lot to the table.
Some.
Oh, come on. Is it... Why? Why is it so hard for me to tell you how amazing you are?
All right, then. Thank you very much.
You make living fun. You make it bearable. You give us hope.
Okay.
You're not afraid to tell who he is, and you're not equally afraid to show who he is. For all of the orders that were bestowed upon you, and I told you, and I'm looking for my thing here because this is so cool. You've got the Order of St. John. It's also known as Dame of Grace of the most venerable order of the hospital of St. John.
At Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, where I just came back from. And I am, being in that place and mingling with everybody from every different walk of life. They didn't look like me. They didn't speak the same language, but they understood the language of service and love and compassion and those fruit of the Spirit that you can only pray that someone who's running a country can emulate. It's not all politics with you. Yes, it was a political order that you had, but their mission, and you know this mission, it was bestowed upon you, is to prevent and release sickness. Prevent and relieve sickness and injury, to act to enhance the health and well-being of people everywhere in the world. For that order to be bestowed upon you, and you're already walking in the mission of people knowing who Saint Lucia is by the culture. You were doing tourism when tourism wasn't even it wasn't even formulated. What's the importance of people walking out that kind of mission in their lives?
Yes, because, we, as I say, no man is an island, or no woman for that matter. And so you need to be able to live, as a community of people, a community of souls. You have to be able to look out for each other, to relieve suffering, to give, well, just like Christ said, go out there and, well, maybe some of us can't give sight to the blind, but some of us can.
Yeah, we can. What are you talking about? I do it every day. You're doing it to me now.
So for us to understand that there will be differences. I mean, you can't have a uniform kind of world, but you learn to respect the people's opinions without necessarily having that kind of hatred and dislike and violence and accept that we are different. But there's the common humanity,
Yes, ma'am.
and that is what matters. You give, perhaps. Maybe give more than you take.
Come on.
That's you kingdom. Can give more than you take.
That's kingdom.
So that is what I think, if we would only understand that and try to live, by that attitude, there would be less negativity in the world, there would be less violence, there'd be bit more calm. I mean, we would have the occasional,
for sure.
Sure, but the world would not be, as tense, and we always at loggerheads, and no, that's not how we were meant to live.
Come on, man.
Nah.
Wow.
That's not how we were meant to live.
I'm not going to cry. Did I tell you that you were in for a treat? You embody everything that I read.
Okay.
And it has 66 books. And I love them, and I've been reading them since I was 6.
Okay.
And I wanted to emulate everything that I read, because I knew it had to be a world where people literally can love one another, because that's the key to everything. Is love. You speak on the responsibility that we as leaders, you as a leader of a nation, that we didn't always look favorable. People kind of counted us out for a while, and we were this and that, and the jargon that goes along with that. What is it that you wanted? And I said it when we opened, but what is it that you want the people who may not be serving in heads of state? What is it that you want them to glean as you live?
Yeah, that, you don't have to be, at the top of your organization. You don't have to. We are all leaders by the way we live. So it doesn't matter where it is you are at, You've got the opportunity and the responsibility to do what you need to do, what you ought to do. I'm the chair of a committee, Nobel laureate. We are, we honor our 2 Nobel laureates every year, and I'm chair of the committee, and I've been chair of the committee for the past 23 years. And we still talk about celebrating excellence. And people think that when we talk about excellence, it's only persons like, Sir Arthur and Sir Derek. No, excellence at every level of society.
Wow.
If you I don't know, street cleaner.
Okay.
You clean the streets. You do your best. You do an excellent job at keeping the city clean.
Come on.
You are head of state. You are excellent job. You are a teacher. Wherever it is, for the moment that you are placed,
come on,
there is a reason for your being there, and you do your best there. And then not perhaps, I think more, or maybe I just say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Because you are faithful in little things.
Yeah.
I will grant you bigger things.
Oh my
We have to move up. We can't always start at the top.
No,
I tell people when they said, "Oh, you're Governor General," I said, before I was Governor General, there was life. I didn't start at the top.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say I started very, very, very rock bottom.
I got you.
But you move up.
Amen.
You move up, and so we are not always satisfied with our lot. Now it doesn't mean that you're satisfied and that's where you stay. But okay, that's where I am now. Mm-hmm. Let me work at getting up there, and and we will not all be, there can be only one head of state in every 20 years, maybe, So we can, how many of us? We can be head of state.
I love you, lady.
So, don't think that for you to be successful and to make a contribution that you have to be, at the very top of the organization.
Amen.
Do it wherever you are.
Do it wherever you are. For all of my guys that have t-shirt businesses, if you didn't glean from these colloquialisms, you like that?
All right. Yeah, you are a linguist.
Well, thank you so very much. I want to be like you when I grow up. If you are listening and not just hearing, and you'll have an opportunity to go back after the show and watch it again and tag, all right? Tag your girl. But I want you to hear what she's saying, but I want you to hear, more importantly, what she's not saying. See, you got to manage where you are. God deals in management skills, and oftentimes we're praying for 1,000, but we didn't do nothing with the 10. So you didn't manage it well. So I'm not here throwing salt. I'm talking about me. I've mismanaged some things, and when you mismanage, even time, because it waits on nobody. Shame on us for thinking that we'll get it right tomorrow. Oh, I'll just get it right. No. All you got is right now, and you manage what you got. For you to be such a good manager, such a good steward, those were called out of you when you were about like David, just minding the sheep. And here you are, called into excellence, and the spirit of excellence being interwoven in the fabric that you have. what an absolute blessing. And I know that Saint Lucia understands what a blessing is, because a blessing really isn't a blessing until you give it away.
Yes.
And you gave yourself away every day. You gave yourself away when people said that you couldn't do it. You gave yourself away when they laughed and said, "Oh, come on, Louisy." Whatever they called you. But it wasn't what folk called you that you answered to.
That's so true.
Wow. Would you speak on, because I just believe he's about to take me to break. Would you speak on what it means for mommies and daddies and teachers to, at that very first day of school, you don't know what that baby's been through. You don't know if they didn't eat for one time that day. You didn't know if they didn't have running water, if they had lights. You did not know if they were up all night wondering if mama and daddy were going to make it home. You don't know. So you carry so very much.
Yes. You
got a responsibility to love them babies right where they are. So shout out to the ladies in ancillary, of course. They're doing a wonderful job. What's your takeaway? What's your giveaway for administrators that are feeling the weight now of, I got to teach this test. I ain't got time to see if that baby ate, because they're going to grade me or pay me how I, teach this test. What do you say to governments that say, how do we get this education thing right?
Yes. We need to be able. I mean, it's not easy to prescribe things without knowing everything that's involved. But I would like people to understand that nurturing the person's soul and feeling is not always what you give, but is how you make the person feel, So to show the concern, to put things in place that would relieve a want or a suffering. I think people would appreciate that more than you say, okay, look,
Absolutely.
Look for that. Like parents, saying, come on, do $20 when you go to school, you go and buy yourself your lunch. So it's true now. It may be what the lunch, maybe their daughter or son wouldn't like the lunch, but at least they would. You've got to get up early in the morning and you prepare their lunch basket or their lunch box. Yeah. Even if they don't eat all of it and give it away to their friends. Instead of when they're coming out of the door, you give them $20 and let them go. For sure. You've got to show the love, the concern. Absolutely. You have to understand when they're hurting. You've got to encourage them. When they do well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So. Wow. So that's what I mean, and you do that at the level of family, but the same thing at the level of government.
How'd you know that's where I was going? How'd you know, lady? I know we got. They said something on the note. I don't know what it said because I really couldn't see it, but
at the level of government,
that's exactly what. Yeah, come on.
A little thing there. I mean, that's the people who won't be satisfied, but if they're really, they will say, well, yes, yeah. Well, yes, they did that, and you just show concern.
Show concern. Yeah. So for our leaders, whether you are the ones that have been voted in power or you're the ones who are the opposition, I'm learning it, honey. I am. What's your giveaway? Yes, you're showing concern, and I get it, but for that gentleman or that gentlewoman that's watching this evening, and they've got a bill that they've got to get before the people that make those kinds of decisions. What do you say as the common glue?
I think it's you need to bring a bit of honesty and a bit of concern. I think concern is so. People listen to what you say or see what you do, which is probably better.
All right now, you talking about language, lady.
It's not when listen to what you say, but they see what you do, and they would. That's what's going to say. There's something. Well,
Wow.
yes,
Wow.
it takes some, courage. Okay, well, we're satisfied with this now. Next time, you build, and that is it. You've got to, I don't know. I don't want to be too things. Say walk the walk and talk the talk.
Oh
but
man,
that's it.
I don't know if they're about to cut us off or whatever, but we're gonna get this voice out right here because people need to know it. It is the absolute truth.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this, and then you say what you're saying, but he wouldn't have brought you here if the people didn't need to hear. So please continue.
Okay, so that's what I would say to to the leaders, both in the political field, and in other aspects of life in the private sector. No matter where it is, as I say, you're situated. You've got a responsibility to bring people together,
yes,
to build. That's what you're building capacity, you're building a people, and for us to work in concert. We will not all agree, but one has the glue there is that you talked about is the concern.
Wow.
That you need to be really honest with people and show that you care.
Oh dear God.
That's the way I see it.
Oh, I love you so very much. They're saying that that's our time, but would you come back next month? The Lord say the same and let us finish.
Well, yeah. What month? What month? Next month?
I want to have a master class with you once a month. We'll talk about it. But I am so grateful.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God.
Yes,
I know, Linda, thank you. Lisa, thank you. Thank you, Junior. Thank you, everyone that literally allows this show to be what it is. Numbers don't lie. And I'm so grateful to God for each one of you. Seriously. You've given us our marching papers.
Yes. Go and do likewise.
Come on now. I love her. All right. I didn't get an opportunity to give away another voucher, but I'll give you an opportunity later after the show if you just want to jot down how many years did she serve as our Governor General. Then feel free to do that. I'll check it this evening, all right, and I'll make certain that you get that voucher. They are delicious preparations. I know you don't like sushi, but that's our show. Thank you so much. Season 2 is kicked off, man.
There you are.
God's willing and the creek don't rise. We're going to do this thing called life every day, but especially right here on DBS, 8 o'clock Thursday nights. I'm about to say it's such a DVR, but I am getting old. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I love you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for having me.
To God be the glory for your life.
Great things he has done.
I know. Bye.
You remember my eyes. We were known to get